Guten Tag, everybody! Gamescom is now over, so I went through all the announcements and trailers and picked my top 10 things that happened, news pieces, trailers, etc. And I, of course, am joined, as always, by Shay.
Hey, guys.
For all of these little wrap-up projects. And I'm
yeah.
super excited to talk about a lot of these things. I want to kick things off with the thing that I'm most excited about, in that I have conquered hell. Shay, I went to hell and back, and I got myself a Super Nintendo Mini Classic.
Oh, really? Nice.
So this was announced earlier in the year, and pre-orders went out, I think, in the beginning of July for just Walmart. And I thought to myself, that's weird, why just Walmart? But whatever. And then it seemed like it was a glitch, so everybody that got to pre-order it got canceled. But at about 2 o'clock in the morning on Monday, the 21st, whatever it was last week, I was doing some research on a gamer article, and then all of a sudden my phone was just like, the pre-orders are up on Best Buy, and I kind of did a double take, and I was like, shit! And I got to the website within like 5 minutes and was able to pre-order it. And within me finishing up my thing and then trying to go online to register another account to get another one, it was already gone. So yeah, it went fast.
Whoa.
And since then, Walmart has gone up, and Target, and I think Amazon has gone up. I think everybody has gone up now. And so yeah, it's thanks to Twitter alerts that I was able to finally get one. It releases the 29th. I am super pumped for this thing. This is the NES Classic I missed out on, but this one is, this is my console. This is the one that I, started with, and it, 20 awesome games plus the never before released Star Fox 2. That's pretty nifty. What do you think about the Super Nintendo Classic and like the whole you need to be fast as ass to get one of these things?
I'm honestly a little surprised Nintendo's doing this. It's like every time they release something, they like test the waters. They only release a little bit out. Well, we'll see how good it does. Nintendo, from experience, people want your stuff. Just give it to them.
Yeah, I also think that all the heads up are literally like in a room. Like they have Twitter on the wall. And as soon as they release, pre-orders for all the stores that say, okay, you can go up now, all their pants drop down, and they're just fiercely masturbating to all the angry people that said, I didn't get my pre-order, and then everyone's just, bukkaking everywhere. That is what else? Or they're cutting their wrist. They're like, yeah, it's so good,
I
the
imagine
pain.
They're all in like a circle table, and like they're watching Twitter. They're watching all of the live streaming feeds, and the head of Nintendo Japan, he lifts one hand, and then, boom, that's when they cut off the pre-orders.
They have way more than enough. They just do a time thing. Ugh.
Yeah.
And then they eat, like, some fancy sushi off of a naked girl. And drink some champagne. Quite. That was quite a good show, yes, indeed.
Oh, massively done.
All the Japanese just have a British accent for all of a sudden.
They all doing that golf clap.
Yes, jolly good, jolly good. All right. Let's move on to the second piece, which is Attack on Titan 2, which I was actually pretty surprised about. First of all, license-based things are never that good. And Omega Force can be kind of up and down when it comes to spin-offs for Dynasty Warriors. But this was one of my top 10 games of last year, the first game. It was so good. It represented the entire series in a video game. It just made you feel like you are attacking these titans. And I'm super pumped that they're making a sequel. Well, this next game, I have an inkling that you might be excited for this. It is BioMutant.
Oh man, that teaser looked freaking amazing.
I think, all the announcements that we're going to talk about today are really cool. But this is the one that's genuinely like brand new IP.
Yeah.
It's Just Com developer, not Just Com, Just Cause developers, and it just looks just so fun.
It
You're this little
does.
critter. It's like an
It kind of reminds me
RPG.
of a rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Definitely, you definitely got the Rocket vibes, but he's also like not like up your ass like, I'm
No.
Shadow the
I mean,
Hedgehog and
he's
I
like,
hate humans.
God, he's like Rocket, but plus a ninja.
Yeah, he kind of reminds of Rocket Raccoon spliced with the red panda from
Oh,
Kung Fu Panda. Yeah,
Man, that game is gonna be crazy because, like, as you saw the whatever running through the different environments, your coat changes.
and
Or
you can customize what you look like too.
oh man,
And
God, just
there's like going to be mechs in this game and like
yeah, I saw
airships.
that.
Like I want this game right now. As soon as I
Right,
saw like the airship and like the mech, I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like
the giant robot hand.
yeah,
that can, oh man, it looks fun. Like honestly, it looks fun.
Next, something that we probably are not going to spend too much time on. That is the Fear Effect remaster called Reinvented. It's supposed to be coming out next year, and there's a trailer for it, but it's not really even worth talking about. It's just kind of announcing the game is there, and I never played the original. I played a little bit of it, but not, in its heyday. And it's just like a really weird Resident Evil kind of clone, except that your fear is your health. And, yeah, I don't know. Did you ever play this game?
I'm trying to think if I did or not.
It was on the
Did
PS1.
Did it have a sequel that was like cell shaded?
They're both cel shaded, and like there's a huge like
Oh.
lesbian relationship in like
Yeah,
the second
that's
one.
the thing. That's the thing I remember.
No one remembers the first game. Everyone remembers like the relationship thing in the second game.
Yeah, yeah. I played a little bit of it. Yeah.
Secret of Mana
Oh
just
man,
kind of came out of nowhere. It looks
I
like
like that.
It looks like it's using the same engine for Adventure of Mana. I think was the remake that came out last year or 2 years ago for the Vita.
Yeah.
And phones, I think. It looks good, and
Mm-hmm.
really, this was a big surprise because the original Mana game, Final Fantasy Adventure or Second Densetsu, whatever you want to call it, has been remade so many times, just exhausting amounts of times. Secret of Mana has never been touched again. It's been ported to the iPhone with just like a little tiny tweaks to a couple things, but I wouldn't really call it a remake at all. But yeah, this is a complete remake, and it's coming out the February 15th next year for the PS4, PC, and Vita. But yeah, just a very short teaser for that, and you don't really need that much more other than that's a fantastic game. Next,
I like that the trailer just came out of nowhere.
yeah, it actually came up after we recorded that one thing we did a couple nights ago.
Oh, right.
That is going out in the future, but we recorded in the past.
Oh,
Next, I want to give a big middle finger to Bubsy the Woolly Strike Back, which is releasing on Halloween this year. This was announced around E3, and I couldn't believe it. No one remembers Bubsy fondly. Did you ever play these games?
I remember these games, and I remember thinking they were pretty cool, but I was also like second, third, maybe even first or second.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can't be faulted for your age.
Honestly,
Lord knows we both have so many. Everyone does.
Everyone's got those games that you're just like, why did I like this? Oh yeah, flashy.
I didn't have any money, and this is the game I got for Christmas, and that's all I got for a whole year. I am the master of Bubsy.
Bubsy.
Yeah, but this is not like your property that's been remembered fondly at all. He's pretty much a joke, even more, like 10 times more than like Sonic's games have been in the last generation. Bubsy came out in a time where everyone was trying to ape Sonic and Mario, and yeah, it's just, and the gameplay just looks not done. The trailer looks so bad. I would rather play the original games. It's just.
What if they give you a free DLC to play the original?
But
Would it be worth buying it?
I wouldn't even want to review this game. I think I would just be screaming at the TV.
No!
Next, another series that I have really no experience with. Shenmue III got its first trailer since like the initial Kickstarter kind of launch back in 2013, I think. It looks pretty rough. I mean, it looks exactly like
Shenmue 2.
It looks like it just came out back in the 2000s. Like nothing looks that impressive. The faces look really odd,
Man,
but
you know what would be so great about this game is that they send out the shittiest trailer ever, but then when the game actually releases, it's gonna blow people's minds with what happens.
they're actually making two games. They're making like the real one that no they're not making two games. Let me pitch you on this though. They're making two versions of this game. One shitty version, like PS2 Dreamcast, graphics to show off to the public, and one that has graphics that's, Yakuza level of just like super polished and whatever.
Yeah.
And then that's what people will play when they, do it, but at preview events it's just like the old one.
I had a friend that he was the only kid in town that had a Dreamcast that I knew, and that was the game that came with the Dreamcast, and it was is there a slice of life genre for video games?
I think so. You call Harvest Moon that, basically.
Well, Shenmue was kind of like just living every day. You went and bought pop out of a vending machine. You like went around town.
Have you seen My Father? That's all I know about the game. And you
was,
drive a forklift around.
It was really boring, kind of, except for the kid that I watched play, because I only played for a little bit, and he's like, watch this, and then he got in a bunch of fights, and the fights are like Virtua Fighter kind of, where they're really slow, but that's about it.
Well,
nothing like explosive happens. It's just cool, but it was really to showcase the Dreamcast engine at the time, I think.
Speaking of bizarre things, we have The Good Life, which was such a weird trailer. First of all, it had just, drawings and kind of animated stuff, and it had real life stuff in there as well. Mm-hmm. And then the tonal shift is also like, what the fuck is happening? But
there's a murder in
if
this
you don't know,
town.
This is the next game from Swery, who directed Deadly Premonition. He is just a bizarre director, and Deadly Premonition is a bad game that is very good. It's like it is just an awful game to play, but the story and just everything in it is just
that's what keeps you going.
It is really like Twin Peaks, the game. It is phenomenally... It's phenomenal and bad. And this game is... You see a murder happen, and you're like a photographer in this peaceful town, and they make it so foreboding. Like, who's the killer? And then it's like, but there's something happens at night. Everyone's happy and turns into cats. Yay! And I was like, what? What is this game going to be? I'm so excited for this game. It is... Swery, you are something else.
Wonderful. A wonderful person.
Yes.
Wonderful company.
Hopefully we don't have to wait that long for that weird
20 years thing. Later.
Next, speaking of Yakuza from not that long ago, this is a twofold thing I want to kind of talk about. First of all, they announced Yakuza Kiwami 2, which is a remake of the second game. But alongside that, the more exciting news, I think, is the Yakuza developers are going to be working on a Fist of the North Star game, which I don't really have any nostalgia for Fist of the North Star, but the Yakuza games are fantastic, so that piques my interest.
Fist of the North Star for me is very... We have a history, and it started out very bad, because I go to a comic book convention every year, and this guy was selling a sleeve, like a big rectangular box of magazines, and he told me I couldn't look inside. I had to just buy it. And he's like, I'm only asking $20. This is a lot of books here. And I was like, you know what? That sounds like a deal.
Have you ever heard of Shenmue?
Well, he let me feel how heavy it was, and it was full. Like, it was crammed. Full of this old Shonen Jump kind of magazine called Raijin. And tucked away inside there, between the issues of Raijin, were issues of Fist of the North Star. And I thought, when I was in high school, this was the stupidest series I had ever heard. It was about a dude, like, before I started reading it and when I just, like, read little things about it, this dude, his best friend does this pressure point thing that makes the Big Dipper on his chest, essentially trying to kill him because he wants his girlfriend. Well, the rest of the series is about him getting to the guy that did that to him so he can do it back to him.
And it's incredibly violent.
And, yeah, it's super violent. It's like Mad Max on crack. Now I think it's okay, but back then I hated it.
What did you pay for that box?
$20. So Fist of the North Star, thumbs up.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Well, now they're making another game, so look forward to that. So we've gone about 15, 20 minutes now, and I think we're going to do exactly that on this last piece of news here, because it's 3 pieces of news. And set yourselves up, because we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy 15. First of all, they announced that they're making a PC port next year, which legitimately, I thought that was already announced. I thought that already happened.
Didn't that already happen?
So that's cool. You know, PC people, that's going to make some crazy mods, and I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah,
next,
it's going to be nuts.
Next, we have Final Fantasy 15 Assassins Festival, which is free DLC. It's coming out on 8/31, at the end of the month here.
God.
And yeah, it's a cross-collaboration with Assassin's Creed Origins, and you have assassin outfits, and you're doing some missions, and I don't know about you.
That Prompto knows about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, it's just Ubisoft and Square Enix have no ties together, so it's just like a weird...
Oh, is this like their way of saying that they're making a game together?
I think that they're just... I think they both are just fans of each other, maybe.
Oh.
And they're just like shaking hands, which is kind of a cool... Cross things happen all the time in games.
This is how Kingdom Hearts happen, people. 2 guys met in an elevator.
Assassin Hearts.
Assassin's
Fantasy. Thank you.
Or Final Creed. No, Assassin's Fantasy sounds so much better.
This is my Final Creed, and it's a game of... It's a game of... Oh my gosh, Shay.
It's a game about killing Final Fantasy?
No, Final Creed is a game that stars Scott Stapp. And he wanders into the world of Final Fantasy and Assassin's Creed, and he's just like, oh, what am I doing? That joke,
arms wide open.
Unless you're older like we are, which is our late 20s, that may fly over your head.
Scott Stapp was the horrible lead singer.
Creed has been dead for so long, but it's really funny to us, so I'm not editing this out. Anyway.
Oh my god. Yeah, he could look like Sephiroth and summoning Meteor.
Let's do a game idea where we just pitch games where Scott Stapp should be in.
Scott Stapp. Oh god.
He should be in Halo!
Oh god.
Okay, and the last piece of Final Fantasy news was the most bizarre. Pocket Edition, which is coming to mobile devices this fall and PC. And it is essentially
a remake
of the first game. And it has graphics that you said that were kind of similar to, you know, Bravely Default, kind of deformed and cutesy. Mm-hmm. And I like the idea of this, but I just don't want to play it on a phone. This would be great on the 3DS or Vita, or, you know, even better yet, the new portable, which is the Switch. That's, you know, no saying that won't ever come to consoles at all. But
we are throwing these ideas at you, video game companies. Take them.
They're releasing the first episode for free, which just begs the question: how many episodes are going to be? How much are episodes? Yeah, it's just So weird.
15 episodes at, let's say, $7 a pop.
Oh, they're not going to do. They're not going to do that. At most,
you better be able to buy like a season pass.
Oh, I'm sure.
Season pass for $40, you get all of them.
A $40 mobile game? Jesus.
They're obviously seeing 15 as a bomb, and it wasn't that bad. You guys should have polished it a little more.
The scores are all very, like, everything about the game is generally positive, and I think it made a lot of money. It's just that they just are greedy now, and they're like, where else can we take this thing? I mean, they invested so much money into the property, but they're still not done patching the original game / adding content. It is basically another MMO. It is so insane. There's not been a Final Fantasy like this game before.
I hope this is never going to happen again.
Next year, they're going to make Final Fantasy 15 demade even more for your retro console. You can plug this into your Super Nintendo. They're not trying to do a new game. It is just the same game, but with a little bit different content. And
so that kind of pisses me off. Oh, actually, no. This doesn't piss me off. Because
I'm excited.
What if this is the finished version? Like, they're downgrading the graphics so they can extend the game to what it should be, or should have been.
So the actual full game
We're actually getting the true-to-life director's cut version of 15.
Oh my gosh. That would be such a middle finger. Like, guys, we're trying to patch the game on the consoles, and when the PC version launches, which is probably super broken... But if you want to play the real game that we intended a long time ago, it's on your phone. It's $100 though. So
that's the only like silver lining I can find, or I guess the conspiracy theorist in me is like, you know what? Maybe this has been the ploy the whole time. It's the bait and switch. It's just like Shenmue III, only they gave us something really good first, and then they're giving us the real thing hidden within a pile of shit.
So yeah, that about does it for us. That was our 10 picks for the biggest announcements or trailers or whatever of Gamescom 2017. Did we miss something that you thought we should talk about? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for sitting down with me, Scott Stapp,
with arms wide open,
and with that,
under the moonlight.
And with that, we are done. Thank you for joining us. Did you know that was a Reaction Examiner video? If you liked it, you should subscribe to me to keep up with everything that I'm doing. Also, if you have some other interests, like sex for example, check out Tum Ups, which is a comedy sex podcast thing wherein my best friend and I check out the weird and abnormal and the erotic. And of course, you should support me on Patreon because, hey, I want to make the channel better and I want your help to do so. Plus, if you want to check out my writing, check out Game Jerk, where I have archives and new stuff for all projects, okay? You can find all the stuff and more in the description with the links below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.